don't think most of us even knew why, quite honestly, for most of the time. Our whole lives, we grew up free. We had it handed to us, and it was a great country, and USA, USA, USA. It was a simple, almost childlike love of our country. It was the flags, soldiers, and freedom, 4th of July, hot dogs, apple pie, and fireworks. And it was good. But there's no depth to it. To love America, it can't be fought for, died for, and truly understood by one generation at one time. That only happens each generation, each day. And this generation realized that one Tuesday morning, September 11th. I remember exactly where I was on that morning. I think we all do. Everything started to heat up. I think we all started to realize America's in trouble, real trouble. I remember when one of my daughters told me that she wanted to take history in college. I was so excited. I was standing in my kitchen and I said, it's fantastic. We need good American historians. She paused and she looked at me and she knew she was going to break my heart, and she said, I can't do American history, Dad. You don't know American history. It's ugly, it's brutal, it's bloody. You just think it's all apple pie. It's not. I looked at her and I said, if you were raised in this house and you don't have a respect for the country, how does any child have a respect for the country? I'm going to prove you wrong. As a dad, I didn't even know where to begin. As an American, I didn't know where to begin. I don't think any of us did. And I think we were all on the same journey. We knew something was wrong, and we didn't know what it was, and we didn't know how to fix it. So we had to go back. We had to go back to the beginning. We learned about George Washington, not the cherry tree, not the wooden teeth, but the real George Washington. We learned about Thomas Jefferson and Ben Franklin. We learned about slavery. We learned about the ugliness of manifest destiny and what we did to the Indians. But we also learned about Abraham Lincoln, the truth about Abraham Lincoln, and how difficult it was for him to stand and then say the words, with malice toward none and charity for all. We stood together. My daughter was wrong. So was I. America did horrible, ugly things. But America also did glorious things. Always in just flashes of light, flashes of brilliance, flashes of goodness. We've always been at a time on the brink of disaster. We've always been there. Always just ready to topple over. We've been at this place time and time again. But history tells us when we have both the good and the bad. History tells us we stand and we mark our place. We choose each generation to renew the promise of America for the next generation. Now it's rich. So, here we are again, in the eye of another storm. But this time, we know where we came from. We know what we're capable of, both good and evil. And we know who we are. The only thing that remains is to figure out, where do we choose to go from here? Me? I think I'm going for a glass of lemonade. Can I have some lemonade?
It started when our children were young. I remember hearing about how many people were going to be there.
It was the biggest crowd I'd ever seen. So hopeful and so powerful.
It was the beginning. You could just feel it in the air.
It meant the world to us, having that support in our own country. We were all standing together. As my wife took my hand, I just knew we weren't going to come back the same people.
God was at work. I was there.
Now, you can say that you were here. You were part of one of the largest gatherings of patriots in the history of our nation. You witnessed the impact of 34,000 volunteers from 20 countries and all 50 states. With 300 day of service locations, over 200 pastors and clergy reflecting God's love and putting feet to our faith with a restoration of the black-robed regiment. You were there, restoring honor, restoring courage. And now, as the eyes of all people are upon us, from Cowboy Stadium in Arlington, Texas, this is Restoring Love.